Oh, Chris, can you mute yourself on that one? The other one.
The other Chris.
The other Chris.
You know what? I hit the one, so I don't know where it went. All right.
Hang on.
There you go.
How's that? Can you still hear us?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Okay.
All right, great.
Okay, let's approve the minutes from January. Everybody's had a chance to review them and I'll move to second. Third. Financial reports.
Okay, so on the IDA treasurer's report, we still have, I haven't gotten over to Wayne Bank yet to do the other seating, so.
Well, I asked them to come see you, they'll do that. You're
They
moving
they
enough
didn't
money.
offer that, they said, yeah, you can come over whenever you want. Alright, so we'll see, we'll get that one going. Just this last couple weeks have just. I've kind of been in another role. Okay, so nothing really to report there. Sewage Works Corp, had some. Outstanding payables to the IDA that were carried over from last year, but they were all paid in January, so we're all clear there. So.
The sewage, just, we show a loss of, is it $4,000 or something like that?
Yeah, so that was,
How do we cover, help me with how, does
so,
that get moved over to the corporations for?
so it's not actually a loss, we're actually 776.94 to the good. There's a couple issues, one of the, under contractual expenses, that amount should be half, the other half has to be moved up to 25.
Okay, alright,
You
so
know,
that
it's-
$4,000 showing there, that's.
That's there, and then also the, so like right underneath, well, no, there's a 1,220.32 charge for professional services. We paid that bill, we haven't billed it yet to the companies, so
Timing.
it's a
You incurred the
timing
expense, you haven't-
issue.
okay,
Yeah.
alright. I just wanted.
It's more of a timing issue than that. When I did these, I'm like, that's not right, but I don't have the time to, so I just figured out what
Don't you
was
know why
wrong.
it's like that?
And, what the numbers should be, and the numbers should be a plus 776.94.
You're starting to sound like Ed Rosa, timing, it's all timing, Wayne.
It's timing, does that make sense, Ed?
You're muted, Ed.
You're muted.
I said those are considered timing differences.
Okay, good.
Okay, thank you, I just wanted to make sure we have that.
Yeah,
Somehow the corporations are gonna, that's gonna flow into them as far as an expense, okay,
yes.
thank you, sir.
Yep, so on the LDC treasurer's report, I have nothing to add beyond what's shown there. I don't know, because we're not exactly sure how we're gonna roll it out, but currently under the LDC, we have like 17 accounts. And Tabitha was meeting with Community Bank a couple weeks ago, and they're proposing a restructuring where we would reduce our accounts potentially down to 6, but then have sub-accounts under them. Because like with our IRP loans, we need to separate them. We need to be able to account for them and report on them individually, but the money can touch. And so we've got a follow-up meeting coming up in March where we're gonna talk about that. So it won't make any difference to you guys. It'll make Tabitha's life much easier.
Okay. Alright.
So, that's that. And then on to, loan report. Let me just start with our deadbeat file, cause that might be, well. I can say that word, I'm not gonna say the names for people who are on it. Okay,
How about low performance?
Okay, our low performing. Okay,
Hold
well, I
on.
have to change the name of that spreadsheet.
Yes.
That's the non-performing, non-performing asset.
Yes, if we get foiled, it's gonna have a different name. Here we can call it our low performing one.
Okay.
Okay, so, under the IDA, we have three low performing ones.
No performing.
Yes, five, 6, and 7, so, I think I mentioned at our organizational meeting that we're working with Sam Blakely from Coughlin and Gerhart.
Yes.
And so we had to go through a period, we sent them all of our, the names associated with our low performing accounts, and they had to do a conflict of interest check.
Yeah.
Well, after what seemed to Lindsay and I to be an extraordinary long time, they finally got back to us and it's cleared. And so this week we uploaded all of our loan documents related to 5, 6, and 7 to our attorneys. So,
Release the hounds.
yep, so they are going. In terms of 5, we are pursuing, full foreclosure and whatever action possible. For 6 and 7, my instructions to the attorney was, we will consider any reasonable offer.
Right.
They're small amounts and they.
We could spend 6's balance in legal fees, so.
Yes,
You know,
exactly.
Cut that in half and walk away.
Yes.
So we're money ahead.
Yes, so with those two, I thought that was fair.
Yeah.
Then continuing on to our LDC, number 9, is with Sam now. And that is a, full bore, go ahead, go get them.
And we have,
First mortgage.
Oh, a first mortgage, it says machinery and equipment here, M&E.
That's incorrect. We have machinery and equipment, but we also have the first mortgage.
Oh, all right, so it's,
So,
yeah, Remy?
Yeah, then, I'm just gonna do the lawyer ones first.
Well, let's go to 27, just do them chronologically.
Okay, all right, so 27, this is, Lindsay, do you wanna talk to us or you want me to just do it?
I'll do it. We, decided that there is the ability to become profitable, but it takes time to sit down and navigate those things. We had a meeting a couple weeks ago with would you consider them a consulting?
Yeah.
A consulting, business out of Margaretville, who has worked with many businesses on this. I had a meeting with the business owner, both of them, this client and the consultant. We're on the same page. If all goes well, then we'll work through the month of March, and starting April 1st, payments will begin again at a 50% reduction.
Yeah.
So you're just gonna stretch out the amortization, or
Yeah.
you leave the term the same, cut the amortization and have a balloon at the end,
They're the same,
okay?
just pushing everything back,
Mhm,
essentially.
mhm. All right,
and then I'm assuming if it doesn't work the way we had hoped. then-
There's options, yes, and he described options to me, and I don't foresee that the options are very beneficial, as, it takes, gas and a vehicle, so I'm just trying to avoid that and still keep things afloat.
right.
Okay.
They talked about confession of judgment, which is a document that they would sign, which would speed up the repossession foreclosure process if you got to that. And often it's used as a trade, so I'll trade you an extended time to pay or a reduced payment if you sign this, so that we don't drag it out when it doesn't go away.
Yeah, we haven't gone to that extent yet, because our real collateral with this is the guarantor. And so I think when we first started this more heavy conversation with them, we said, look, if we can't come to agreement, we gotta go to daddy, and it's not his daddy, but we gotta go to daddy and let him know what's going on, and that's what brought him to the table. Oh, no, don't do that, let's get through this.
But we have some legal obligation to let the guarantor know what's going
I
on.
would think so.
And we don't wanna mess that up and have them be able to claim, well, you changed it, never told me, so my guarantee's.
Okay, so let's have a conversation with Harley.
What do we call that?
About whether
One's a
we,
confession of judgment, and the other is what legal obligation you have through the guarantor to let them know of the restructuring.
Because there's the option where he objects and says, and I'm not gonna do this, because now you extended it 5 more years or whatever. You might find, I'm not. in for
yeah, we'll
that
see
law.
if he has, what rights he has under his guarantee.
Yeah. Read the guarantor or the guarantee document to start.
Yeah, I mean, it says unconditional, but depends on whose lawyer's better.
It's unconditional for this set of parameters. You're now changing the parameters, are they still the guarantor?
Okay.
They should be, but I don't know what the document says.
Yeah.
Alright,
And that's our document, correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
28,
28, so, the owner of 28 has some, he has some issues, mental health issues going on, due to advanced age. So I've been dealing mostly with his daughter. And, anyway, we got through that, finally was able to talk to him directly, and he has a purchaser for the property. We know, we know the purchaser, he's a local person, in the community with the means. I immediately called him, he's like, yep, I just signed the sales contract, this is for how much it is, and we should close within 30 to 60 days. And, the purchase price is sufficient, we're a second mortgage on this, Wayne Bank has a small mortgage in front of us. The purchase price is sufficient to, clean us out. The only issue that I'm a little concerned about is, nope, sorry, that's a different borrower, nope. Alright, so for this one, yeah,
okay.
That's right there.
that's
This is the case where we've made an original loan and then we added more money to it, right?
yes.
Okay. So in the original
No, I
balance,
think just added one, yeah.
in the original balance category, let's up that to the accumulation of our 2 different loans. Cause it just looks.
Yes.
If you gave this report to the auditors, they'd go like, so how did you go from original balance to current balance?
Yeah, okay,
So if it was one number plus the other, put those 2 together and that's.
yeah. Okay, but so that's that, and,
That's good.
at an appropriate time, I can share them.
Cool. Yeah.
35, we were going to pounce on him a little bit, but he, his last couple draws have gone through. So he, is current for January and February. He still owes us back, but, as long as he keeps paying, well, I'm okay with it.
37, I'm happy to see that noted in the status category.
Yep. Yep, 38, at this point, I'm not fully sure whether he's an idiot or he's full of shit. But,
What's the What's the difference?
but so we had
That's
an
right.
issue with the account we're drawing from. He initially blamed Lindsay. Kind of in a not nice manner, and I replied and showed him that it was his fault. So he has sent me a new account number, but he's missing one document that I need from him. This all happened last night. So, well, not all of it, but last night he sent me a new account number. I'm waiting on another document from him. After this meeting, I'm gonna have Tab ding the account for $1, and then on Monday we'll pull the full amount. And if it's a problem, well, then he's done. But if it's not, then, you know, we're back on track. But he just ticked me off, so that's why I use that language. I apologize. That was not professional.
That's perfect. I used that in the meeting before.
Yeah. 41 just made a payment, you know, so we're gonna be limping along with them. I understand that's not ideal from a board perspective, but it's an ongoing business and we wanna keep working with them. 45, that is a Sam Blakely account, full whatever. 57,
What do we have for collateral there?
an Amish shed, a personal guarantee, and a bunch of knickknacks.
Okay.
But she did just purchase a home, so somehow, some way, she's got some means.
Very interesting.
Yeah, with that just, when did I show you that? January?
Couple weeks ago.
Yeah, January or February, she just bought a home, so she does have assets.
Was there a health issue? No,
With her, no,
no, okay.
no.
They don't know.
57 is a Sam Blakely account.
Good.
Um,
Ruin this guy's life.
Yes. 75, I spoke to the owner. And he is nearly ready to just sign the property back over to us on the first mortgage. He owed me a call this Monday, but this week got crazy, so I didn't follow up with him, but I will after the meeting.
So have you been thinking about how you would market that property?
Yeah, Lindsay and I had a meeting about 2 weeks ago from some guy who's interested in buying that.
Okay.
So,
For its current purpose or repurposing it?
similar but different. And it's a successful entrepreneur in the same community.
Okay.
And, so,
We really like his enthusiasm and we feel that it could be successful if,
With a right
if all goes well.
leadership.
yeah.
Okay.
So more to come on that. He was meeting with his accountant and gonna get a full list of, you know, what his debts are, which seem to be substantial. This was where I was gonna mention, I got confused with the other one in the same town. There are some tax issues associated with this. So that could complicate things a little bit. So that's why I wanted to wait until he got a full accounting from, and I'm gonna ask for the information directly from his accountant to see what it is. Then I can go to this guy and be like, okay, what portion of this? Because if there's
Is it real estate taxes or IRS taxes?
IRS.
They eat first at the moment.
That's why I don't wanna move forward with saying, hey, just sign it over to us and try to go, and then have the IRS come in and say, nope, that was ours.
Right.
So that's why I just wanna see what that is, and then go to the interested party and say, how about this? You know, this amount, take care of that, take care of us, and then it's yours.
Wasn't there tax issues with that when?
Yep.
Yeah, he
There was.
stays one step ahead of the law, you know?
Bruce, if he turns it back. Deed in lieu of foreclosure, is that a taxable event for him?
Oh, yeah.
It's forgiven debt, right?
But we're not forgiving it, we're taking the property.
Right, we're taking the property for what's owed on it, And if the lien from the government on the road, then that becomes ours.
Our obligation, yeah,
It should be going along with the building, I would think.
yeah.
And it depends on how far the IRS found the
Do you
file.
work with this guy?
No,
Oh, okay.
A question that can't be answered. Thanks for asking.
it's only on camera.
So you're taking the right approach, it sounds like, you're gonna wait and see what
We'll
the
see.
IRS is, what their piece of money they gotta be, and then, okay.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
and then 84, the last two,
Yeah, but you need to stay on top of that because the IRS could foreclose on it and put it up for auction.
yeah, no, that's why he was supposed to contact me Monday, so I'll follow up with him. And then 84, they've come back to making payments. So yes, they're behind, but they're making payments and the property is listed for sale. And we're first mortgage.
In 75,
Did I skip 75? Oh, 75 is what I was just talking about.
oh, okay.
That's the one with the accountant. Anyway, yeah,
Glenn, 51, 2, and 3 at one point had been accused. They're not past due, but
Listed for sale.
it
Yeah,
is listed.
it's listed for sale.
Okay.
they're open, they're,
They're probably doing good now with the snowmobilers, I think. Well. They should be. I'll let you tell.
yeah, no, yes, they should
They
be.
should.
They should be. Yep, that's it.
They were only open when the snowmobilers were on the trails.
Yeah,
Anyway.
yeah.
Sorry.
A little editorial.
Yeah, shutting down at 7 PM, it does not help with the snowmobile crowd, yeah. So, yeah, that's it, and then otherwise, we just had another payoff, I don't even know what number they are anymore. 54 just paid off in full.
See that?
And that was due to the sale, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, and I haven't spoken to, but I have exchanged emails with the new owner and yeah, he's hoping to open the first early part of March.
Wasn't that tied up for a long time with the?
It just closed this week. I don't understand what took so, well, he is still waiting on his liquor license. Yeah, but if the real estate didn't formally transfer until this week, he can't move forward with his
With
liquor
the
license.
application.
Oh, I'm done, thank you.
Why the actual transfer didn't happen months ago, I have no idea. Yeah. I've heard some things I don't wanna say.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
Alright, so that's everything there, I think, unless there's questions.
Good. Motion to approve financial reports. Let's go early. Second,
Second.
all in favor?
All right,
Hey, annual audit plan.
Yep, so, you all should have gotten, or may have gotten some type of form to, express any concerns about suspected fraud or anything like that. So that's just part of the process, and our auditors will be in March 10th and 11th. Everything. Tab's got just about everything put together. She and I just need to sit down to go over our, issues list, questions, whatever, special things. And we'll be ready to go. But we transferred our books over to them at the beginning of, middle of January, so they have everything already. But then this part will just be like, grants and property sales or purchases are always a little different, and so we just have to go over all that, make sure we've got everything for them. But yeah, we'll be ready.
Okay, so sewer works.
Yeah, so nothing really new to report, we kind of covered the financials earlier. As far as any potential regulatory issues, there's been nothing new, on the regulatory front, either from any potential agencies or our attorney. And, we did make a request to the industries to provide some documentation regarding improvements they've made to their waste stream. And we received it from both. One was very detailed and was nice, and then the other one was, yeah, we made things
We
better.
did some stuff.
Yeah.
I was a little disappointed.
It could have been more, it could have been more. But anyway, so we have that, I forwarded that on to our attorney, he was gonna use that if and when, there was any further contact. Just to start our, approach of that, let's just move past this. Oh, you missed January, so yeah, okay,
I did.
yeah. There might be an opportunity for us to go into further detail.
Alright.
Let's go to
At
updates
some
here.
point we should, because that is the elephant in the room.
Big one,
Mhm,
it's heavy.
mhm.
Attention.
Okay,
Okay, let's move on to updates.
Okay, updates, business reporting, so as part of our, continuous improvement process and as, indicated to us by our friends at the comptroller's office. We are now requesting that all of our pilot agreements, or our companies that we have pilot agreements, submit formal reports to us. And since we were at it, we extended it to all of our loan customers as well. Lindsay had graciously volunteered to develop a spreadsheet to summarize all that and create a form that would be manageable and easy for us to present to the board. We're hoping to do that in March. Hoping,
Sure.
yeah,
We'll be able to.
we'll be able to do that in March.
Great.
All of our pilots have complied. Our loan guys they're trickling in. I mean, not trickling in, we have 95 loans, so it's a lot, so we've received a bunch. I haven't necessarily kept track of who's submitted and who hasn't yet. But as Lindsay goes through this process, then we'll be able to start issuing reminders where needed.
And if you don't get 100%, what, do you have a percentage in mind that would be acceptable with regards to the reports?
Yes, that percentage that would be acceptable is what the board deems acceptable.
Well, it won't be hundred.
100%, didn't you?
Oh, it should be 100%, but the chances of that happening by March. I
Yeah,
think it's-
so the other thing is, our current loan documents or our past loan documents didn't have this as a requirement. Yes, we had the ability to request that, we're gonna change the language in our loan documents to make this a firm requirement.
So going forward, we'll
Going forward, they will absolutely have
have
to.
to.
Under the
We-
default clause.
Yes, we still, it'll be an item of default if they don't. Right now, we say we have the ability to request if we want to, but there's no, stick if they don't comply. So we're gonna make this an item of default moving forward.
You'll have that opportunity, whether you choose to whack them with that stick is gonna be the next.
Absolutely, yes, and there may be some we do and some we don't, and that will be,
And you'll end up sending a second letter and then a third letter, because from a tax return standpoint, they aren't due till March
Right.
15th, then April 15th, then was it September
September,
for
yeah.
corporations and then October for.
October.
yeah.
October.
Yeah.
About September, it's for
Yeah.
business.
So our report is, there's two things. We wanna know their level of investment in job creation, and then there is also the financial component.
And that
So-
would be interesting to track all of that and look at it, and some of them you'll look at and go, I'm glad we're getting paid, cause I don't see how. And others you'll be like, you need to refinance with a conventional bank, cause you now qualify.
Right.
And related to that, so Lindsay, the spreadsheet will allow us complete ability to
Yeah.
analyze in whatever direction we choose.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Hopefully, that's my goal.
Yeah.
Might have to rework it,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I
So
mean,
we're
I just started, so, there's a lot more loans and there is
Well,
the last page where it basically shows how many jobs they've created, how many they've retained, et cetera, and how much money they've actually spent in services and in, I guess, what else would we call that? Services and goods, in Delaware County, which I feel like that's kind of important, because we want those dollars to stay in the county.
And it's really good for promoting ourselves.
Right.
Here's what we've done, here's what we've created in the county.
Yeah, this is the impact of it, yeah, so that's the information that we're going.
Going back to the board, number, I mean, what, based on what you're saying so far, and I know you're still out there for reports, but is 75%, is it 50%, is
I
it
think we're a little less than 50
at this point?
at this point.
Yeah,
I would
another-
say probably roughly 30%.
Okay. At this
But
point,
also
so
it
there's
could
another
be
month
that
to
a
go.
bunch of them are saying, well, I'm not gonna have my taxes ready till April, so
Right.
I'm not even gonna submit anything until then.
So should we put it
So,
off till April for your report, rather than,
We can, I think that, what I think is gonna be beneficial is that I do like a couple of each, so a couple pilots, a couple loans, and then I put it in the Google Drive and say, okay, is this followable for the board? And
yeah,
then
I
if it
think it's
needs to
gonna
be
take us a
tweaked-
couple iterations.
Yeah.
For us to go through it, develop something that meets your guys' need and its need.
And ideally, it's something that, you know, you can input at one place and make it not a lot of work for you.
Yeah.
Right, that's the other thing, is to make it manageable, because if it's unmanageable, yeah, we're gonna do it this year, and then next year, oh, yeah, we're not doing that, yeah.
I'd be happy to help with them.
Okay, great.
micro enterprise?
Okay, micro enterprise, we just completed our 4th session last night. Going well, there are, 22 confirmed applicants. All but one is paid, and, she has completed every session thus far, just hasn't sent the check-in. So I feel that it's going well and that the businesses are actually taking a lot of information away from this, regardless of the presenters. There's still a lot of good info out there.
Ouch. I'm not a presenter, so.
Me neither, but it sounds good.
That's outstanding numbers, I think that's great.
Yeah, it's really great, and I think roughly 50% is agribusiness, and that's just what I wanted to say.
Yeah, so they'll be in classes through the month of March.
No, we'll be done with our classes March 12th, that's the last course day, and then after that, so we're rolling out the application next week. And also for those who don't have UEIs, which 50% of them do, I'm just require them to make an appointment with me and I'll just walk them through the process, so it's not like I have to teach a class and, hey, how do I do this? So just will be seamless and they can get it right in a few minutes.
Yeah, so then once we get through the classes, then they can submit their applications by, I think, May 18th or
Mhm.
something like that.
Yep.
By May 18th for funding to move forward.
Great.
And, yeah,
And just out of curiosity, what levels of funding are we talking about?
Grants from 5,000 to 35,000.
Okay.
and at the end of the day, it's likely, you know, there'll probably be enough funding for like maybe 10.
Okay.
Right,
Yeah, just depending, like, there's a few that I think will go for the most, but then there's a couple that trickle in that just say, hey, I might need this, and it's much less, so we might, somewhere between 12 and 15, I would say, depending on what they're requesting.
And the total fund pile available to us is,
265.
It was 300, so if there's admin fees, then we're probably down to
Yeah, I think it's
55,
like,
250 or something.
yeah, I think it's around somewhere in the 260s.
Then is there more available if we have all 20 applicants, all one and?
We could go back for additional funding on a more expedited basis.
Uh-huh.
You know, you can re-up the program and get a new allotment. I don't know exactly what the process is, but it's not the full, you know, application process that takes a long time to put together.
Okay.
At least that's what they've marketed it on.
State program, federal program?
State program, federal funding.
Great, looks good. I mean, that's outstanding. Franklin Restore Project, that's a Lindsay as well, correct?
Franklin Restore, really nothing new to update, we shall,
We're finalizing some, on one side, there's two primary property owners involved. On one side, we're finalizing, the budget for the project involving two buildings. That's moving forward. It's a little complicated in that this one side has two buildings, one of which may be transferred to another person who is committed to moving forward with the project. So that may just make things a little bit transitional for a little bit, but I'm comfortable that that will be fine. And then on the other side, we're good to go. That's the side where the IDA is invested in the septic system as a pilot basis. And, you know, there's a financial issue that may or may not be addressed later in this meeting, so.
And Fuji Clean System has been through planning boards and everybody's approved that, or are they still, whatever?
No, there's still, so
so wait,
somehow, you know, the coming of winter and snow on the ground was a surprise to a lot of people. They didn't anticipate it happening, so we didn't get the test pits and what else?
soil samples.
Test pits, soil samples and surveying done before the snow hit. I mean, who knew winter was coming? I mean, it's hard to anticipate things like that. So, we're still waiting for that. So hopefully in March, there will be movement on the septic issue side.
Was there a write-up in the reporter yesterday about this?
About Franklin?
Frankly, yeah. I just read the article. I don't remember what.
It was in last.
Mine, I think it was like just yesterday.
Yes, you know.
Well, go back and look.
Okay, status of sales contracts.
Okay, so, our former property at 12 Winkler Road, which we were on a lease to own agreement, is now, I'm trying to look for them on the loan report. Yes, so number 43, which was previously a, oh, no, so they have the loan. They also have a lease with us. That just happened. So they had a lease to own agreement with us. That's closed 2 weeks ago now. So I talked to Ted and we missed it. That will be switching over to the loan report. So everything went smoothly with that.
What did we sell it for?
So, the original, so they've been making payments on it. So this was structured as lease to own, so that, the property remained in the IDA's name for certain tax benefits. And, so at the time, this was in 2016, the sales price was based off of, $270,000.
Okay.
The actual final payment was in the 130s. But we're holding paper under that, under the idea.
And 1/3.
On 130.
So that'll be a new loan.
That'll be a new loan that will appear under the IDA loan report.
Yeah, okay.
Mortgages on properties, so it will show there, but we didn't get it for this report.
So that was a lease to own. We didn't approve that at the January meeting that I missed, so should we have run through.
No, that was in 2016, we approved the whole, yes, it was
You
approved
don't
that
remember
this
that,
would
Sam?
happen.
No.
Yeah,
I
so it
sure
was,
don't remember, I can tell you.
Getting a little fuzzy.
yeah, so it was all approved at that one time when we,
Okay.
yeah, approved the lease arrangement in 2016.
So you've got 12 Winkler,
Okay, Sheffield Estates, well, I said, yeah, so that property has sold. We closed on that, I think technically it was as of February 20th. But I picked up the checks just this week because they were just waiting for some issues to clear. So that was closed.
so based on all the sales and the recovered monies elsewhere, your balance sheet should look pretty healthy going into March.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, so although the funding there, that will show up in, you know, the IDA's fund income account, which shows as
Yeah.
a savings account here.
Okay.
And then, our piece of property in the Walton Industrial Park is supposed to close today. However, there was a last minute issue that was addressed back. So a neighbor has over time encroached on the property. In 2024, when we were going to sell the property to the same person and the code, we issued a letter and the property owner moved his stuff off. And that was acknowledged by the purchaser that happened. Well, that was almost 2 years ago. So, you know, slowly over time, I told him, we're selling it, you need to get your stuff off. He complied. Well, nothing happened. So what did he do? Started stacking stuff there. And so now the purchaser's attorney has said, that needs to be cleared before this. And my response was, he did it once, he'll do it again. I went down there just this week to take pictures. I don't know where the property lines are because there's 16 inches of snow all over. There are some logs there, the majority is clear. There are some logs there, are they on the property line, maybe slightly over? I don't know, but I'm like, at this price, it's not my problem, it's an as-is sale.
Yeah.
So, that
So
was
are they looking for a
communicated.
reason not to close, do you think, or?
Well, if it is, I know what this board's reaction is going to be.
Yeah.
Okay,
So I communicated to our attorney, it's an as-is sale, it's their choice. And my recommendation would be, it annoys me because I'm honoring a 10-year-old handshake here with the purchase price. And so if that becomes an issue, I'll be like, okay, this is what the current market rate of that property is.
Right.
Make your decision.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's it. Anything that's current, you know, we did have, which is now a quite extinct contract on property over in Sydney. I haven't had any contact with that interested party in over 2 months. And so, I had to get through a bunch of stuff in January and February. We're through that. So now I want to reach out to a developer out of the Binghamton area who had previously expressed interest and go back to him and say, hey, it is available. Because I kind of told him, because we were under contract, I'm like, I'm sorry, but if anything happens, I'll let you know. Well, now I'm gonna let him know. So we're back to the
So
beginning.
we're past all the commitment dates.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was property on Delaware Ave, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
but we're, the interested party in Binghamton wanted that and the one that was for sale that we don't own.
right,
So hopefully they can work out an agreement with.
right, and that's why I wanted to tell him, I'm like, look, if I can't bring that guy to the table.
Right,
If you can, great.
Yeah.
Our side is available,
Yeah.
you just let us know.
Okay.
So I think that's all I have under that.
Let's move on to the housing infrastructure grant.
Yeah, so we are working, it sounds like there's only one project that is ready to go. I'm waiting on some confirmation. Lindsay and I had a meeting with them, that was probably a month ago now. But they were just on vacation for, winter break was last week. And, so we're looking to, get back together. Maximum grant allowed is, $1 million. This project is probably. They make it sound like it's wide open. Anything, wow, then, okay, what does anything mean? Well, not that, not that, not that, not that. And so if we move forward with this, and if we consider this $1 million an allotment for Delaware County, we're probably gonna use maybe a third of it. Which is okay, because the people we're talking to said that as soon as this round is done, because applications are due April 1st, as soon as this round is over, we're gonna reopen it up for whatever money's left over.
Okay.
And so, that may allow some additional projects to mature to the point where they're ready to apply for this as well. And there will be money left for that. So,
All right,
that's where we are there.
tourism and ag.
So tourism, Soph is over in Roxbury, working for the Roxbury Arts Group today on some, reviewing grants under the New York State Artist Grant Fund, I don't know what it's called.
Right.
Yeah, RAG, yeah. So we've brought on a new, Soph's been out of her mind busy. We brought on a new ad agency or agency of record, I think is the term they like. Revamping everything that we do, moving forward, cause our previous agent of record is, is no longer with us. So we RFP'd this new one. This is a great firm. They're the ones who, worked with, they started working with Sullivan County about 10 years ago, and that's when Sullivan County tourism really started popping. So we're pretty excited to work with these guys. Besides that, we're working on getting new travel guides printed and distributing that. Soph and I have some RFPs to review on the printing costs. We're moving forward there. We found out an issue with our website that that a lot of people are blocked due to some stupid technicality issue on the back end. So we just had to enter into an emergency contract with this other firm to help us clean that up. Then we're working on.
Tourism grants are due today.
Yes, our occupancy tax grants are due today. For funding through the occupancy tax, this is both the nonprofit and for-profit side are both due today. And yeah, just a lot of other stuff.
How does that work, the occupancy tax?
So the occupancy tax is imposed through the treasurer's office. They handle the administration of the tax, all of the funding, all of the taxes received under the occupancy tax, minus 10%, are put into a tourism reserve account. And so then that money is available to be used to promote tourism in the following year.
Okay, so that's a countywide?
Yes, so it's a county. Yep, so it's a countywide occupancy tax, 2% of.
But the county's managing the.
The county manages it, and then originally it was through the LDC, I guess now it's technically more through economic development. We handle the grant process for awarding the funds and how they're used. And so on the most simplistic basis, we have 50% of the funding that is raised through the occupancy tax is made available for grants through municipal and nonprofit applicants, And then there is a category for-profit that is specifically targeting lodging establishments. This year it's for, pre-development and soft costs related to, projects that will create more than 5 new lodging rooms. Is it 10? 5. We were gonna do 10, but we thought that was too much. More than 5 new lodging rooms. So that 50% goes to that. The other 50% goes to support the promotion of tourism budget through the county that is managed through our office in Sophia.
In round numbers, you got 400,000 to work with.
500. Yeah.
And this bed tax can only be used for this purpose, but it can't be used for.
Yes, it's used for promotion and development of tourism.
The other counties did it early enough where they went into their general fund. When Delaware County did it, it wasn't allowed to be used for anything other than the purpose.
Well, so let me just offer, because there's always eyes and ears on everything. Let me just offer a clarification. So when the county was seeking to impose an occupancy tax, we were informed by the state that if the local law, no, I don't want to say how to say it. If we wanted to impose the occupancy tax, the local law had to state that the funds could be used solely for the promotion and development of the tourism industry. And that's what the county's local law stated then and still states today, even though it's been extended several times. However, it was pointed out to me that in state law is silent on the requirement that it has to be used for promotion and development of the tourism industry. However, our local law states that it has to be. So I take that as it has to be. It's been pointed out to me that the county could, if it wanted to, try to petition the state to see if they would allow us to amend our local law to be able to use that money for any purpose whatsoever.
Like the old Kellogg funds issue.
Right.
Where they,
So that every
Petition the
town
state to
could
use
get a
other
brand new dump
purposes.
truck.
which I stopped. So,
Yeah.
anyway,
You've done a good job promoting the tourism around here, and even more money would help promote it more.
And we can't welcome visitors without more establishments, and I think Soph and Glenn reworked the guidelines this year to specifically target that we need more lodging rooms to house these people that we are bringing in through tourism. And it wasn't a thing that everybody was thrilled about because, oh, these were different from last year. And they actually had to sit down and read the application to make sure it wasn't the same as the last 5 years. So I think that.
Yeah, we rewrote the guidelines, so it's not like, oh, okay, you do this festival, yeah, come to us every single year forever to get money. And so we were just much more clear about that approach this year.
How was participation?
Through the roof.
Yeah, typically we get like 80 applications,
Right.
20 get immediately filed. And then, you have to review 60 of them. And those are reviewed by the Tourism Advisory Board. And then, which is an appointed board by the county. I do sit on the board in all.
What are some typical categories they're applying for? I mean, you don't have to give me.
Yeah, so we kind of switched it, so there is a marketing component for marketing events or activities that promote Delaware County as a place for people to come for overnight stays. And that's one thing that we are really and will this year looking to clamp down on is, I'm gonna use an example, and I love this event, and so don't take it the wrong way, but, you know, every Friday night, in July, the Village of Delhi has Fair on the Square. Great event. People aren't traveling to Delaware County to go to Fair on the Square.
Great.
So, you know, that's not really the type of event we're looking for. You know, something like
Deposit lumberjack.
the Deposit Lumberjack Festival, that draws people. Something like the Hootenanny, that draws people. Something like the Yoga Festival up at SUNY Delhi, that draws people from multi-states. Those are the types of events that we're looking for.
Yeah.
And there's gonna be some bent noses, but, you know, that's what we have to do, you know? This is taxpayer money, we gotta make sure we're using it.
Yeah, and I don't
That's
like,
possible.
you know, just for the record, I don't like the idea of putting that back in the coffers for any purpose, because that just doesn't, you might as well just raise the overall tax.
Exactly, and that was one of the things back in. So the longer I'm here, the longer my memories, and people have short memories, I find. Is that was a specific thing that the board was insistent on, this is not going to be just another tax.
Mhm.
You know, if we're gonna put it, if we wanna use it for other stuff, then we need to either suck it up and put it in the property tax or use sales tax dollars for it. You know, we're not the state of New York, we're not gonna just impose new taxes whenever we want to support general fund activities. And that was the initial legislative intent of the occupancy tax, and that's what I'm gonna follow.
So you said 10%, you mentioned 10% stays
Yes.
someplace.
Yep,
Where is
so
that?
the treasurer's office is allowed to recoup 10% of gross receipts to cover their costs related to imposition and management and collection of the taxes.
Okay, so it's costing $50,000 to do that.
Yeah. They receive $50,000 to do that.
Okay, that's what I was looking.
And where does
But that's common, that's in every occupancy tax law across the state.
Where does
So
the Granicus? Are you still using them?
Yes, that comes out of
Does that
occupancy.
come out of that 50, or does that come out of?
That comes out of the free share. Yeah. So we did adjust that into, so this is, the county currently uses a company by the name of Granicus to verify short-term rentals and things like that. That contract is up in June and that will be a discussion. In the past, that came out of the funding for that contract, came out of the share that was made available to, the TPA, which is now my office. So we were essentially paying for that. Starting last year, we treated that as like the same as the treasurer's share. You know, so it came off the top and then the 50-50 split was after.
Okay.
And then it's a annual contractual relationship, and whether we continue with that in the future or not is uncertain, because with STRs now becoming subject to sales tax, nobody finds people better than the state of New York.
Let them do their work.
Yeah,
There's also a portion that used for grant money to improve lodging or something, isn't there?
yeah, that's on the for-profit side.
Yeah.
So in the past, we used it for, to support capital investment that for lodging. And it was purposely, but over time perhaps mistakenly written a little broad, and we would have a lot of one-offs. I run this, you know, Airbnb, I want to put on an addition, and because of that, I'll have 2 extra bedrooms in the Airbnb. Great, but that wasn't really the intent. So this year we did it. That's why it's for pre-development costs related to larger projects. It's got to be at least 5 rooms at a time.
And code compliance assistance.
And yes, and we still kept, and we put, I think we upped our allotment under code compliance. So if you are a rental and you have to put in a wheelchair ramp or something like that, yes, we've got money for that, or smoke alarms.
Right.
You know, smaller items, yes, we support that, cause that's a safety issue. Yeah.
Cool. All right, ag reports.
Very busy this past month writing and working with farmers on the AEIDP grant that was rolled out by WAC. Grants are due today.
Yeah, she's got 3 she's working on to submit today.
Yeah. That's it.
That's
That takes
That's
up
enough,
enough of my
right?
time, yeah.
Okay, thank you. The East Center, the James R. Thompson Business Center.
I like that.
Yes.
That is a potential contractual issue that I think would be
Okay.
better in the
Yeah,
closed.
let's do that.
But like a motion to go into executive session to discuss a contractual issue with no action to be taken. A second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Other old new business for the IDA.
Well, we do have the bid resolution. So,
Whoever this was the IDA.
yeah, the IDA, the IDA, so
So-
a bid or a resolution for the IDA to accept the low bid on the project at 8 Winkler
You
Road.
want me to just read this?
Sure. Yeah.
Looking for a motion to approve Alpine roofing quote of 21,600 for 12 Winkler Road, portion A roof section, based on 2 responsible bids out of multiple quote requests.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
And we'll save the other motion for the LDC portion. Okay? Or anything else under old business?
Just one quick thing, just as an FYI, the term of our pilot agreements for our first Clark Companies project and then our Chapel Hill project down in Hancock are over. We are transferring the paperwork to transfer the Clark property back to the tax rolls is complete and done. Our other attorney is working with Chapel Hill's attorney to get it transferred. Technically, it's supposed to be today. The assessor's aware that it may take an extra week, but that will not impact its ability to transfer.
Is that a 15-year project?
The Clark one was 20. There were some shrewd negotiations going on in that.
I don't know.
That was the first one for them.
Yeah, it was
Yes.
the first one.
That was
And
our
there's
first one.
been 3,
Four,
4, there's 4.
yes.
That was our first one.
And
That was a big
one
one.
Yeah.
And potentially one coming.
What's that?
Is there one?
No, that's counting the one coming.
That's great. That's what,
The 4 is the one up there.
Yeah.
Maybe.
not that I'm biased, but that's what pilots are for.
Exactly.
Good stuff. Anything else before we adjourn the IDA meeting?
Motion to adjourn.
Second? I'll second it. How's that?
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. LDC, minutes for January, approval? Motion?
Motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
Second?
I'll
All in
second.
favor?
Aye.
Aye. Already covered financial reports, so we could have a motion on financial reports.
Yep, so moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Interest rate. Question?
All right, so Lindsay and I are back again to discuss our proposal for interest rates. We have gotten on the same page, and our preference is for a range of rates that would coincide with what we believe our priorities and are for economic development, as well as for our position as a lending entity, how we fit in. And so, you know, we would have the lowest rate that's standard and set for manufacturing, value-added ag and job creation projects. You know, at least 5 new full-time jobs, not FTEs, but full-time. Then a slightly higher rate for new businesses and projects where we are a participating lender, but not the primary lender. Again, trying to reinforce our role that we augment funds, not replace them. And then or then a higher rate for all other projects. Again, trying to curtail the incentive to use us solely because we provide a discounted rate.
So some questions. As prime changes, are you going to change the borrower's rate? So is it gonna?
No, it would
fix
be
to the borrower?
fixed
So
at
it's fixed to the
close.
borrower at closing,
Yes,
but then when prime changes, any new borrowers
Would
that
get
change
that.
after that would get the new higher or lower rate.
yes.
Okay,
And I did check with Tab and she's not concerned about about managing multiple loans at different rates.
Right.
She's comfortable with
That
that.
shouldn't be an issue.
okay.
It should probably be on our sheets though, what the rate was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And that's the
this
thing,
language
with
is
these
probably
rates,
fixed.
you know, 1/2 of prime, you know, +1, prime -1, prime. Those are all indexed. You can put that on a sheet and you never have to worry about it being out of date.
Right,
Right.
you can say Wall Street Journal Prime and.
Yeah.
That's where you are.
Yeah.
Yep, but it's not your prime.
Yes, very good point.
Sometimes, some banks will have
Their own prime.
Delaware Nationals prime.
Okay.
Wall Street Journal.
What do we call that?
Wall Street
Street
Journal.
Journal.
Yep.
Yes, Gary.
Going back to the 5 job positions. Is that in all of them? Or-
That would just be for that lower.
You get the lower rate.
Right.
Okay, so. And including what the categories you picked, like you picked A, but you're saying they have to have 5?
No,
Okay,
manufacturing, ag, or 5 full-time jobs.
okay.
Again,
That's
I
one
don't
of the options.
wanna, you know, and look, I don't wanna disparage any other type of business, but, you know. Full-time jobs, you know, it's great when we have part-time jobs that augment employment opportunities. But I just feel our primary focus should be on career-oriented jobs.
They're new.
Yeah,
5
new, 5 new.
My caution to you is make sure you have this very well defined so that no one can argue with you about what rate they fit in.
Exactly.
This has to be really, really well defined.
In one prime example of that, is it 5 new jobs that you're creating today or over 10 years?
Right.
Because I could say, hey, I have big aspirations for my new business, but we have 2 today, but we will have 5.
Eventually.
Yeah,
Right, when's the eventually?
yeah. And is there gonna be any clawback? I can't imagine that would be really complicated to do that. To read
I
something
don't
at a
think
high
so.
rate.
I mean, I think our clawback would be that if you don't make, and this is a good discussion, I thought, but not put it in paper. The clawback isn't that, you know, you have to pay us back immediately, you know, we're foreclosed. But it's then you switch to the default rate of, you know, let's say you
Right.
got it. Yeah, you switch from 1/2 of prime +1 to our prime rate, because you defaulted on the, you know.
Right,
other
so they have to have a time limit. You don't have 5 in court.
Yeah, so we would have to do that, yeah.
Yep.
So I see that and I assume the IDA can do that. I know in the banking industry, that would be an absolute nightmare.
On a personal standpoint, you're exactly right, it's horrible.
I have some input too,
Because it's-
to
But I agree.
piggyback on what Scott's saying. I'm in a highly regulated industry just like him. So if you don't define those rates in the qualifications very specifically, with very few exceptions, you open yourself up to all kinds of discrimination, favoritism, and everything else claims.
Yeah,
I like the thought process. You gotta think about, can we implement this the same for everybody that walks through the door? Or is it just easier to go with 5.5 for everybody, and that's what it is?
The national average is 5% for rural economic development.
Finding it, applying.
Mhm.
I think it, if anything, yeah, would there be instances where it's a little bit more difficult? Maybe, but I also think that would be, last year, there were a number of rate shoppers that slipped through because we did not have a hammer to say no. So they were interested in that solely for the low rate. So are there gonna be problems in the future with these rates? Yes, but these rates are more defensible and more keen to our mission. So I think you're trading one problem for another. So this, is more in line with what we're trying to achieve, is you either, yeah.
That's what you want. You want it to incent what you're trying to reward. And I think you're doing that, which is new businesses, manufacturing and ag. Perfect. My word of caution, just make sure you've got it ironclad.
Yeah.
I've got a list of questions.
Okay.
And this doesn't.
You said it was gonna be lengthy, so I knew there was
This
something
won't,
coming.
show that I'm leaning in any one direction or anything, but, just have the cost of our funds changed? Where we're pulling our money from, Department of Agriculture, wherever else we're getting our money, has our cost changed? Has there been an increase in the percent we're paying for those dollars?
No,
Okay? We're.
I don't,
Yeah.
you asked me a question and I
Okay,
answered it.
simple answer.
Yeah,
Because
I'm already building my
I think
defense.
to me, that means something. Okay, so set that one aside. Has our ability to handle 12 to 15 projects a year changed?
We might be no, I think we'll be okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
we're a little tight this year going into the year, I'll be honest. We are a little tight.
But you were up towards 18, if I remember correctly, weren't you?
Yeah, we did 18 last year.
Yeah. So I mean, it was a higher number than what I look back and it was
Yeah.
higher than normal.
But again,
That could be the new norm.
right, but I also think the rate change will, maybe we did 18, maybe we should have done 14.
Okay, so there's the next question. So what this really does for us, and this must be the end goal, is that you're increasing the delta between what we're paying and what we're getting. Help me with the purpose of doing that.
Okay,
With the note, in your verbiage, you said we wanna be able to focus on our primary objective. I thought this was one of our primary objectives. So I'm done now, but I wanna put all three of those questions in a pile and say, I don't get it.
alright,
So
so
we're
the
gonna
other
start delta,
thing.
so we're gonna potentially pull in more from every loan. You don't have the ability with that extra money to do more loans. You just told me that yourself. What are we doing?
Well, so number wise, no, but loan amounts are increasing, when I started here, Scott, you remember, our loans were $25,000.
Right.
Now
That's good news.
we're not getting loan requests for under 100.
Right, but the paperwork's the same.
Yes, the paperwork's the same,
Yeah.
but in order to do, yes, we have plenty of money to do one $25,000 loan every single month. Yep, we can do that.
Yep.
We don't have enough to do $100,000 loan every single month, as of today.
Yeah.
Over the course of the year, will we get there? Yeah, sure. The other reason, looking ahead, our delta hasn't changed in terms of that, but the end game for me with these IRP programs is to get to a level where we borrowed $750 30 years from now, when we've paid that off and we no longer have that, we still have $750,000 to continue the loan fund for. The ag relending program has opened my eyes a little bit. Now, it's a little different from USDA because USDA has a longer payback. We are going to struggle if we ever have to pay it back, and I'm gonna try to extend it forever if I can.
Your lifespan.
Yes, if we ever have to make principal payments, we're gonna just make it. And then 10 years from now, our ag fund, poof, we don't have it anymore. And that's gonna leave the office in the future with, $1.5 million left to play with. Then maybe that means our loans in the future, maybe we can only do 8 per year, not 12 per year. So I do think there's an impact there. And if we can just, even though I think we will be okay with IRP, in my opinion, for future sustainability, we either need to do one or both. Shorten our loan terms so we can get the money back earlier, because we need the early years on the interest. That's what's helping us. When we've done it in the past, and I think we've cut them out. I don't think we have them anymore. But previously, one of our lenders, we were doing 10-year notes amortized over 20 years. That's not helping us.
Well, we make it a lot of interest income, but we don't get the money back to redeploy it.
Right.
So in the banking world, banks make good money when there's a 5% net interest margin. We've had a 3% net interest margin. And while it's only 2%, it's a big difference on what you can then reinvest to grow the company. So growing the company is part of what we're doing, trying to grow the county. The increased margin, net interest margin, is beneficial to what we can do.
And it puts a little cushion in there if something happens.
Right.
You don't
And
have to-
so also these rates,
Which we've had
The-
more loans to write off
Yes.
as we grow our overall portfolio. And this year it looks like there's at least 3 that are on the IDA side of
Share
it.
this.
yeah.
Everybody else been saying, I'm gonna do it.
It's good to say that.
And so the prime -1 rate, which would be our middle rate, that is pretty much, that's probably about 75% of IDAs and LDCs across the state use. The other ones use prime. So we're at industry standard with those rates. And the top, our lowest rate, that's better than anybody except the CWC has. And they started with a $36 million trust fund.
I only had 100 million.
Yeah.
Is our lowest rate gonna stay at 4? The lowest rate, what is that? Is it gonna stay at 4 or 5? Because 4 is too cheap.
No, the lowest rate would be, prime, 1/2 of prime +1. So right now it would be 4.375.
Right,
So
and
what-
we're in a decreasing interest rate environment. We're in a decreasing interest rate environment, so prime could actually fall below 5. Prime +1.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, we
so
need a
yeah,
floor.
you know what, when I wrote this up, I left that out.
So you wanna set a floor?
Yeah,
Set a
so
floor in there.
CW, and I'm not saying this is right, this is just CWC has a floor of 4 and a ceiling of 7.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't wanna end up owing them money.
Move.
Yeah,
For all.
and that could apply for all,
Right.
yeah.
If we do go with one, I would still wanna recommend tying it to the index, so your middle rate. If you guys decide, hey, this is too complicated, right? what Scott was suggesting.
Yeah, I mean.
It
I
like,
think
don't
if you
set
try
a
it
fixed
for-
rate, set, make
if you
it.
Try
make
it for a
private.
year.
Yeah.
see if it-
Right.
if it-
When would you like to make your change? Assuming it's approved,
Today.
this illustrious board,
As of today.
As
okay?
of today,
So
so
someone need
that
to
includes
make a
this
motion?
loan?
That would include that loan.
I think you need to also, somewhere in your, disclosure, your, promotion of this, make sure that they know it's fixed.
Yes, fixed at closing.
That's a good point.
for the term.
For the term.
For the term.
Now what happens if they come in and refinance it?
It's
Right, that,
Yeah,
It's whatever the current
Yeah.
rate.
which you'll get some people doing, and the answer to that is. The new rate is for the new money piece only.
Yeah.
We don't refinance this, if you'd like to refinance it, walk down the street.
Good luck.
Right,
Correct.
right, but usually they're coming in,
I don't know.
so the new money would be at the new rate. They're gonna have two different rates for old and new,
Uh-huh.
that might get a little.
I don't know if you need to worry about it since the rate's gonna be higher than everything, every loan
Everybody
we have on the
around,
books.
we have no prepayment penalty, so if you don't like the rate we're charging you can pay us off.
I mean, we just do a lot where if somebody's come back a year later, and say, I need more money.
Right.
Yeah.
So has
We've
someone,
done a lot.
has someone encapsulated everything we've talked about and can make a motion
I'm
that
hoping,
makes sense?
you good, Glenn?
So we're going with option one with all of the refinements that have been,
So what are those
Requested
requirements
by
that
the
we
board.
talked about?
Yeah, these are-
so,
Read those two.
so.
The cap,
I'll move.
Oh, it's Wall Street Journal Prime,
Yep.
Yeah,
5 jobs over the course of, what number of months? 12 or 18? What's fair?
I don't know, I would say, I'd say 18.
Yeah,
Well,
18,
Is there
18
retention
is
on that?
also. 18 is also for the business program in the building we were talking about too, so.
Yeah,
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 that means you gotta monitor that, Lindsay.
and this is, and so also, just as a clarification, is 5 new full-time jobs. I don't mean 3 full-time and 4 part-time coming out to an FTE of 5.
Right.
This is 5 full-time jobs.
right, and it won't be that hard to monitor if they're sending their.
And so that's why I think we can do it.
Information.
If we're gonna continue with these reports and things like that, we can do this.
Right.
We can do this. It's
Right.
new, but it's better, and we're trying to get better.
And you'll have a quarterly report, quarterly, which says 4 employees or 8 employees.
That's true.
So it's easy to.
Yes, we would,
easy to monitor it without going to the business.
We would want to put in our loan documents that they need to submit their New York 45 forms.
At the end of the year.
Every quarter.
Every quarter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
quarterly.
If they have to.
Get them in the habit. If you ask it once a year, they'll be like, oh, what? Yeah, but if it's every quarter, they'll get used to
And
it.
they electronically submit that to the state, they can electronically put you on that same email.
Yeah,
Mhm.
maybe not to the
No.
state, but.
That's
I don't think
portal,
you can
it's
do
a state
that.
portal, but
But they can upload it and email it.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I don't think they.
Yeah.
You have a floor to ceiling rate in there?
Floor 4, ceiling of 7 applied across all rates. Fixed at closing.
For term of loan.
For term of loan.
Fix that closing for term of loan. We don't refinance to lower rates.
Well, we never refinance. Oh, what do you mean, like,
Well, so say this 6.5, 6.75 drops to
Oh.
4.75, and somebody walks in and goes, oh, you're charging me 2% more than you should be, because it's now prime is,
Well, because
4.75.
it's a fixed rate with their contract.
Yeah, but they
The life
can,
of the contract.
They
And
can
I
ask
want
to
you rewrite the
refinance.
loan.
Right, but we don't.
what if they come in for a new project and they still have a portion outstanding?
Well,
In the past, when we would change from 4 to 5 to 5.5, if someone came back in, we gave them the rate at the time.
We were.
If it was for a new project, you can't
only on the new money.
only, yeah,
only on the new money.
yes.
Alright, that's fine, okay.
That's what we were just discussing.
Right.
Cause we do a lot of that where they come back a year or 2 years later and say, I need some.
A year, sometimes they come back in the same year,
The same month.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Wayne, did you have this written down? You did very well with that first.
I do not.
Oh,
I gave
okay.
up a while ago, on that one. But we should read it so we all know what we're agreeing, what you guys are agreeing to.
What do you mean?
Re-propose this and then present it in March when we have a real life example. Got it. Good to go.
No,
Go ahead and read it, go ahead and read it, let's move on, it's quarter after, let's,
okay,
My lunch is cold.
Good.
Alright.
Someone make a motion and Glenn will read it.
I'll
Can we get someone to make a motion and Glenn will read
I
it?
think it was a cold thing.
make the motion.
Alright, Glenn,
Hopefully it's still cold.
okay, so, our proposal is to,
motion is.
or the motion is to tie our rates to the Wall Street Journal Prime based on 3 different categories of lending. Each of these rates would come with a floor of 4%, a ceiling of 7%. The loans would be fixed at closing for the term of the loan, and no refinancing of existing funds would be permitted. The rates would be 1/2 prime plus 1 for manufacturing, value added, and or projects that create a minimum of 5 new full-time jobs over the course of 12 to 18 months, which would be verified through the submittal of New York 45 forms on a quarterly basis. A rate of prime minus 1 for new businesses. New business being a business that has been operating for 6 months or less, and projects that include other lenders, other primary lenders. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay, and then our last rate would be prime, again tied to Wall Street Journal Prime, for all other projects not meeting the above criteria.
Talk about one other thing, if, I think it's important to let the borrower know that if they don't meet the covenants of what you just
Yeah.
said, that it would refinance at
It
whatever.
would revert to, not.
For the lowest rate, there would be they would default to. If they were approved at the lowest rate and did not meet the job creation requirements, they would default to our highest rate.
Use the word convert.
Would
This feels better.
convert
Yeah, it doesn't give you
I love
a
that.
our highest
Throw
rate.
that
a negative
forward.
feeling.
Is that our only covenant then? The job,
You got the feeling
Yeah.
in there.
Yep,
okay.
Alright.
So we need a second for that motion.
I'll second it. Oh, you got it? You got it. No.
All in favor?
I,
All not in favor? Nay.
Okay.
It's good to have.
I'm
a
an
second.
A, I'm an I.
Yes, absolutely.
Hmm.
Sorry?
I said I because I said no and I didn't mean to.
Oh. I thought it was for supporting me, Chris. All right, motion passes. I need another motion to approve the Asmonley Properties LLC loan request for $118,000 contingent upon an approval of associated CWC loan.
so moved.
A second.
Wait a minute, with a term not to exceed 36 months as opposed to 84 months.
Okay.
and at a rate of our new approved rate of 5.75. Because CWC is the primary lender. They would be
You wanna see the delta between the CW, sorry. We got a second, all in favor?
You're overthinking.
I,
Aye. Other old new business for LDC.
Just one last thing, there was a request to move our March meeting to March 20th. Is everybody okay with that?
March 22nd.
March 20,
What's
That's
that?
a Sunday.
Is it 20th?
20th is a Friday.
Okay, sorry about that.
March 20th. Is everybody okay with that?
I think so.
Yes, yes.
I'm really okay with
Okay.
it, that worked out great, thank
All
you,
right.
Scott.
I know it's March 20th because March 21st is the St. Patrick's Day Parade.
I'm gonna miss it.
And
I'm gonna be.
you are gonna be here, and as a past grand marshal, you are required to march in your.
I have never heard that.
That's the fine print. Go
I
back
have
to your contract.
never heard that. Other old new business.
What's the loan agreement said?
I mean, I'd be happy to do it because I enjoyed it. Anything else? I would take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
A second.
So.
All in- Thank you, well done. Someday I'm gonna get us back to 2 hours, I don't know how. We've covered a lot of ground, so.
Right, said it was a short meeting.
This is just an
Yeah.
FYI, I don't know if I
Thanks,
can
Grace,
sit out.
Thank you.
Out. Right
Thanks,
now.
guys. Have a great
weekend.
Yeah,